Hello, Just Too Good here, back from the review. Today we're reviewing another LEGO Scooby-Doo 2015 set. It's called the Haunted Lighthouse. It has 437 pieces, 5 minifigures if you include Scooby, and it retails for $50 in the United States. I got this from Toys R Us, and now let's take a look at the minifigures. So here is Shaggy, and this version is exclusive to the set for the torso print, which has a whole bunch of just sea elements printed on it, like a starfish and some seaweed, which probably means when he was water skiing, all that stuff was just piling up on his shirt, which is really silly. Other than that, he's just a standard Shaggy minifigure. He has one of the two face prints that are used for Shaggy, which has some awesome back facial expression and a front facial expression. And you can just compare that to the other version of Shaggy, which has just that normal kind of face and the scared look on the back and the normal shirt. Also, Shaggy gets two elements. He gets these two little water skis right here, and he even gets this little sandwich, which is the same build that's found in some of the other sets with that nice printed inverted little circular plate on the top. And that is actually really cool because the bottom of it has this little pole right here. It's this receiving stud area, and you could just kind of stick it onto his hand like that. It's a little bit of a tight fit, but once you get it on, it looks really kind of cool. Next minifigure up is Daphne, and besides Scooby and Shaggy, she's the only other one in Mystery Inc. that appears in two sets because she also appears in the big mansion set. Very well done minifigure. I love the new mold on her hairpiece. It works very well and it fits the character. And she has some nice printing that carries all the way on to the side of her legs and an alternate face. Also, her little accessory is just this paddle right here to, I guess, hit people with. And the Scooby in this set is nothing exclusive. It uses one of the two of those little face prints right there. This one's the one that's showing teeth, and it does use a sitting down mold, which is comparative to the other mold, which is a standing up one. And you can see how that kind of sticks on plates like that. And for the villains, we got the swamp creature, which is actually very cool kind of twist on the last swamp creature we got from Monster Fighters. And you could just compare the two right here. You can see this one uses a lot of a darker green, and this one has some nice purple on it as well. And once you take off the mask, you can see he has a very kind of freaky face right there. And I do like his little trident accessory. But, of course, like with all the minifigures, or all these villains besides the zombie in these Scooby-Doo sets, we could turn around their face and it reveals the secret identity of the villain. And last up for the minifigures is the Lighthouse Keeper, which actually uses that nice beard from the Hobbit line in this new gray color for it. And once you take off the beard, you can see that it does have some nice torso printing right there. And once you take off the beard, you could also reveal the face of the secret identity of this little villain right here. And I remember this was actually from a newer Scooby-Doo series. I believe it was one from like around 2005 or so. But she was Velma's like arch enemy or something like that. But this does actually glow in the dark, which you can see right here. And here are the builds for the set. You got the little motorboat, and then you have the whole lighthouse. Now, the lighthouse itself is pretty darn tall. Just compare it to the size of a regular minifigure, and you see how big it is. And it does have a full inside, which is kind of cool. I mean, it's not covered all the way around, but like the back side of it has lots of little stuff to play with, and there's lots of little secrets. So without further ado, let's take a deeper look at this set by going into the close-up. So starting at the bottom, there is this nice little docking area right here, which I do like how they did this little lamppost. It looks a little bit like a mini lighthouse itself, but just a nice, neat little build. And what's cool is these little planks, which don't look suspicious at all, which are these little stickered pieces as well on these 1x4 tiles. Once you remove those, a little hidden treasure map appears, and I think that's awesome. It says X marks the spot, and it's actually a printed one. It's not a sticker or anything like that, much like the little printed clues that are found throughout all the other sets. But like those, this one is exclusive to this set alone, and I think that's actually really useful as an accessory. And you can just put those planks back on like that because all they use are those two little jumper pieces right there. And moving to the middle section, there is that little door right there which leads inside the lighthouse, but let's take a look at some of the hidden parts at the bottom first, including this nice little skull build. Now, there's a little crank on the back of the build that if you move it to the side or if you twist it, it moves the whole skull like that, and then a little crate can be retrieved from the bottom of the whole lighthouse. There's two little lime green flippers in there. There's this little breathing apparatus, as well as this little crowbar right there. So that's pretty nice, and you could just stick it back on those 2x2 brown jumper pieces quite easily, and just flip it back down like that to keep it hidden again. But taking a look at that back area, actually, and there's actually some nice rock formation builds on the side. You can see how that works a little bit more. There's actually a sticker piece on that little crank, which just looks like it's a little log of wood, which I think is actually kind of clever, and it looks like somebody just painted a little twist sign on that, but that's where that little crate was hidden. It's actually easier to take it out from the back if you want to, but it still just sits in there very nicely on those jumper pieces. Then in the middle of this whole bottom of the lighthouse, you could slide out this little treasure chest, which isn't on any jumpers or anything like that, but it uses this little 1x2 double cheese slip to kind of block it from getting out easily. And you can open it up, and there's a silver cup, some gems, and that's really it. But it's a nice little hidden treasure chest that can easily be slipped back on into the middle part right there at the bottom. So you can put that back. And then that's really it for this bottom area. So let's move on to the middle section. So there is that door right there, which leads to the inside of the lighthouse. But they also have this little keep out sign, which is a sticker on another 1x4 brown tile. And then these little staircases, which lead to the middle of the lighthouse. Very nice kind of detailing with this little seaweed that's kind of put on the side on a clip. And also some of those nice brick pieces in that red color, that dark red color. And at the bottom of the lighthouse area inside, which that door led to, there's just this little kind of pan on a stove, which is just a little bit of a cooking area. No food or anything there. Unfortunately, it's just that little pan on a stove. And then inside this middle area, which this little staircase leads to, there's this nice little web right here, which can be flipped up. And then there's just this little jail door right here. So you could probably stick a minifigure to be trapped inside there, which is kind of fun. But you could easily just open the door like that by pushing it. Now, going back on the outside of the whole build, you can see that door just kind of leads to just above the other door. So if somebody was to push that out, they would just kind of fall down if they were walking through, which doesn't make too much sense, but it still kind of works. I just wish it was a little bit more sealed or something. If they use one of those non-door pieces, but just those little door kind of jail cell kind of just clipped in pieces. But hey, it's just a little nitpick. And moving on from that little jail cell part is the actual top of the lighthouse, which is just this little light post and these railings, but there's actually a little secret to this. I do like how they use these little broken glass stickers to kind of illustrate some broken glass and just to kind of make the glass that covers up the flame. That's pretty clever, but the cool part is that you could kind of push this over, and since it's on a little trapdoor piece, inside it reveals a key and a bone. And the key itself would be something, I guess, you use to unlock the treasure chest or unlock the jail. You really have to use your imagination for it. But I like that because they also kind of do that with the little crowbar they include in that crate at the bottom of the whole lighthouse, because it shows on the box that you use a crowbar to kind of take off those little planks like that. So you could easily just create your own stories and everything like that using kind of all these tools they set up. And I think that makes this a really fun theme in general. But other than that, that's really it for the whole lighthouse build. Now let's go on to the boat, and then we'll take a look at the final verdict and everything like that. So here is the boat itself, and basically how like the plane in that other set looked like the Mystery Machine as a plane, this looks like the Mystery Machine as a speedboat. And I think that's awesome because it looks like something the Mystery Incorporated would use. It does use some nice stickers to kind of illustrate that design with the lime and the azure and those little flowers. And there's like 2 stickers right there, there's 1 sticker right here, and then 2 stickers on the side right there. But other than that, it's a pretty sleek build, and I actually really am satisfied how it came out. And also you could just kind of put Scooby to kind of control it like that. And there's this little steering wheel right here, and that's kind of fun to just use your imagination with. And the cool part is they have this little attachment right here, which is supposed to be meant for Shaggy to hold on to while he's water skiing. And that kind of makes him water ski, so you could kind of drag him around like that with the back end of this little speedboat. So that's it for the speedboat build. It doesn't actually float, unfortunately, and I do like how they use this little boat hull piece in lime because we haven't gotten it in that color before. But now let's go into the box and then the final verdict. So here's the box for the set. Pretty cool design. It's that $50 box size, and there's some little play features and everything on the back. And for your 2 instruction booklets, pretty thick and pretty long in its building instructions, but there's some nice advertisements on the back of these. So overall, my final opinion on this Scooby-Doo Haunted Lighthouse, I think it's a pretty darn good set. And I know I say this with a lot of the recent sets that I've been reviewing, but that's just really because 2015 is an awesome year for LEGO in general. I think they've really stepped up their game to the point where like almost every set they put out, that I buy at least, is really good. And also, it's just that this theme in general, the Scooby-Doo theme, is so fun and it's so filled with all these cool little builds. And I'm a sucker for play sets, and all these Scooby-Doo sets or nearly all of them, are playset centric, where they give you a big build to play with, not a vehicle or whatever, you know. But I digress, because this set in particular is not only really going to be fun for kids, because I like how they include all those little tools to solve the mystery and all these little hidden features and everything like that, but for adults, you got that sense of nostalgia going on, that this is pretty faithful to the source material, even though it's based on a little bit of a newer Scooby-Doo series. And the Lighthouse build, I think, is going to attract a lot of adults, and it should, because it's a very good Lighthouse build. And LEGO doesn't put too much Lighthouses out, but basically for all the Lighthouses they put out in like the past 10 years, they've all been good to me, I guess, except that little mini creator one I didn't really like, because that was a miniature set, but that's such nitpicking or whatever. But yeah, I mean, LEGO doesn't really fail with their Lighthouses, and this is just another one that's really darn good. I think it's even better than the creator one, because it has actual stuff to play with in the inside and everything like that, but the creator one felt pretty vacant. But that's like most creator sets. And this one, I don't know, I like the colors on this one a little bit better as well. And so I will give this set an A. I think the $50 price point is pretty good. I think you got a kind of a pretty decent sized thing for $50, and you get a lot of different stuff to play with. I mean, it would have been a little bit better at 40, and especially considering the piece count, which is 437 pieces, and I felt a little bit like, this could have been a little bit cheaper. But other than that, don't have too much complaints, and I also like how you get 3 exclusive minifigures with that exclusive Shaggy variation, and then those 2 really darn good little villains included in this set. And that's really my thoughts on this set. You guys could put your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.